Hello, and welcome to a tantalizing episode of the Drywall Podcast. I'm your host, Nick Harmon. With us today, we have Murry Jordan of Optimum Drywall in the house. Although Murray's only a year into his own business and finishing, he's carved out quite a unique niche in a market where his skill is more than needed. You went straight for like a tomahawk like blade, like a big like level five blade.
Yeah, I got a 4-foot tape tech finishing knife. I think that was my first tool, because I just thought the idea was like, I can just do a whole sheet in one swipe with a 4 foot. But I rarely ever used it because I didn't understand back then. There's like different layers you have to put on first before you even
that 4 foot, like you graduate to that. So you were jumping right to the end, buddy. Yeah, you would pull that 4 foot out if you're skimming like a you do a level 5 in a commercial building and you got to put that final coat on the butt joint. That's when you pull out that 4-footer. We dive into a myriad of different topics, ranging from learning the automatic tools to the benefits of using a sauna, an ice bath, the importance of family values, and we talk about Can-Am tools and his inventiveness as a pioneer in the industry. Murray's a fantastic guy, and I'm sure you are going to enjoy getting to know this up-and-coming mogul in the drywall industry. For now, Murry Jordan, Optimum Drywall, on the 27th episode of the Drywall Podcast. Let's get into it. There he is.
Okay.
There's that beautiful mug. That's what I want to see. You're in Baltimore.
Yes, Baltimore, Maryland.
Baltimore, Maryland. We have Murry Jordan on the Drywall Podcast this morning. Owner of Optimum Drywall, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
1 year. 1 year in.
1 year.
And what else? We're just gonna go from here, dude. We talked a little bit. You got the Optimum Drywall shirt on. Trying to get comfortable. I got a new desk set up over here.
Oh yeah, I know how that go. It actually just came from a job, skim job. Just use some of the tape tech knives, and them things are awesome. I might sound a little new to the game, like I might sound like somebody who just saw a flat box or just saw a tape tech finishing knife or just saw automatic taper, but it is what it is at this point.
Yeah, it's all, it's all good because the tool guys want to hear about your experience from a new perspective, that it's all good feedback, not to mention, I don't know who's listening to this thing. We have 2,000 downloads. There's going to be a lot of guys maybe that are a year in or that are considering starting to use the tools, and they also want to hear your experience. Or there's guys that are working for another company, and maybe they want to branch out on their own, and they want to hear how Murry did it. Okay. So it's all relative. There's no bad information,
Right.
I didn't know how to podcast before I started a podcast.
Yeah.
You just gotta jump out there and do it.
Yeah, that's what I did. Pretty much just jumped out. But yeah, whenever you're ready, I can definitely kind of bring my story from the past to the present time. So
yeah. We'll go through the time. No, we'll go through the timeline. Murry Jordan. We'll start out, and sometimes I'll start out on weird. Maybe I'll jump around a little bit on the timeline just to keep it interesting. My job is to keep it interesting. Your job is just to like answer the questions, tell your story.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe crack a joke.
Okay. Yeah.
Funny.
What's wrong, man?
I do generally start out. I ask if you've heard the podcast. So did you reach out to me? I can't remember.
You reached out to me.
I reached out to you.
Mm-hmm. And I think it was from Drywall Magazine. I'm not sure.
Drywall Magazine Facebook page, correct?
Yep, Facebook page, Drywall Magazine. Yeah.
And then
awesome
you do
page,
It's a cool page. Yeah. We had David Lee on the Drywall podcast, the dude that sort of made the page. Mm-hmm. So he's a character, man. That's an interesting podcast.
Yeah, I actually listened to that podcast, and Dave Lee, man, is awesome, man. He's an awesome guy. He reached out to me. He actually video chatted me and showed me how to work on butt joints when I asked a question about that. So that was huge, man.
That's so cool.
Respect for him. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's the only person on the podcast to take a leak during the interview. And maybe ever in any podcast ever in history. I don't know. I haven't done the research on that yet, but he's a great guy, really funny, really funny character.
Yeah. Very, very, very helpful.
Have you listened to any of the podcasts?
Well, the only two, because like I said, after meeting you, I got so excited about there even being a Drywall podcast. I mean, that's just so exciting about, something to listen to, guys who understand what it takes and just like understand the mindset that you need to do this. It's tough. I mean, I'm growing and learning, but it's definitely a mental aspect to this. But I did listen to Dave Lee and Drywall Shorty. To answer the question. Yeah. I'm gonna listen to all of them eventually, but Drywall Shorty, I listened to actually yesterday.
Yeah. Now there's a girl that knows her shit. If you are inclined, just start going and checking out her YouTube stuff. And I got this tool. I want to learn how to do Drywall Shorty box tool. And 50 videos will come up. I mean, and they're very well done. And she'll run you through it, how to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna check that out. I see her a lot of times on Instagram, but it's just so much information. You can go in so many different directions to learn this trade. It's just a lot. It's like a kid in a candy shop, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I'm loving it though. I'm loving every second of it.
Yeah. So how did you get your start? Are you first generation drywaller?
Yeah, I would say so. Definitely first generation. I came from the property management world, maintenance tech, and I was a supervisor for a few years. So I kind of did the quick patches and everything, the quick paint jobs, basic electrical, plumbing, carpentry, and everything like that.
Okay.
But how I kind of got started was, I don't know if Thumbtack is familiar over the country, but it's like an app, Angie's Leads. People reach out through the app to get to you to do work. But anyway, a guy from Thumbtack called me. I was at work. He said, look, there are tons of drywall jobs out here. Just sign up for $300. So I said, okay, cool, $300. That's a drywall job. So I said, I signed up for it. And this was right when COVID hit. Right, like the February, March, right when COVID hit.
Okay.
And I was actually booming. I mean, I was starting to get so much work. It was just crazy. And it just got to a point where my full-time job started getting in the way of what I was doing on the side.
Right.
And that's kind of how I knew it was kind of time to move on. But to be honest, before I stepped out, before I even opened my business, I was only using Easy Sand 5 and mesh tape. That was it. No paper tape, no outside corner bead. I just patched everything with Easy Sand 5 and mesh tape. So that's
what you knew.
Idea. Yeah, that's all I knew. But it got the job done. It definitely got the job done.
And so, okay, so you jumped out and you got a job through Thumbtack. Work's getting a little bit busier. So did you decide to jump on with a drywall company? Did you work for You were like, I'm going to focus on drywall. I don't really know too much about drywall except for you patch a patch with Easy Sand 5 and mesh tape.
That's it.
I'm going to be a drywaller. You can listen to this entire podcast on Podbean, Spotify, Apple Podcast, and also YouTube. The Drywall Podcast was brought to you exclusively by Fresco Harmony. Fresco Harmony, making walls better since 2004. If you have questions about the Drywall Podcast, Fresco Harmony, or anything, feel free to email me directly at info@frescoharmony.com. Thank you so much for joining the Drywall Podcast today. I sincerely appreciate it. And remember, keep drywalling.